Alrighty. We're just maxing and relaxing here, all cool in the studio with the Pure Wrestling champion, Eddie Osbourne. And we have some nitty-gritty questions to get out of the way. Some not so nitty-gritty, actually. It's, once again, fantastic to have you on in the studio. You may be listening to us on Rogers 946, 100.3, or soundfm.ca/listen for the mobile-friendly folk. Got in the studio. You got in the studio nice, safe and sound. You found the big brown doors. How's your day so far?
Oh, it's been a great day. Like I said, I'm spending some time with the Elian Habanero. I know he's coming off that broken ankle. I can't believe he wrestled last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the toughest guys I've ever met in my life.
He was actually just saying that you love Beauty and the Beast on Facebook.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Nice.
man. Elian Habanero's, he's one of those guys. He's kind of a jerk. I was putting him over real nice, and
No.
he's got to do that. Just because I asked if we were going to watch the new movie or not doesn't make it wrong. But
Big shout out to Elian.
you know what? I think Beauty and the Beast. I'm gonna plug another thing. May 12th, when we're or 13th, I guess, when we're back in Kitchener. I'm hearing the Beauty Bia and the Beast Lenny Lilac are gonna take on. I'm hearing Crystal Banks is getting the ring with Eazy-E as a mixed tag match. So
cool.
there's Beauty and the Beast to me. Thank you, Elian.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But I would like to know first, when you were growing up in Campbell River, all the way back in the day with your friends and your family, did any of you enjoy wrestling mutually?
Oh, we all loved wrestling. It was huge. We used to have a little backyard thing, and don't try that at home.
Yeah.
But we did that, and then Elian actually was part of that. I didn't know him very well, and
Nice.
he came to the Hart Brothers School of Wrestling a year before me. So I gave him a phone call one day. I said, "Is it worth it?" Because I never knew anyone who could go there. I didn't even know it existed until he went. And he said, if you can deal with some of the stuff, yeah, it's definitely worth it. So off to Ontario I went, and I was here for 13 good years. And last couple I've been back in BC. But yeah, I started all the way back in that backyard meeting a guy who I didn't even know with the same interest of pro wrestling.
That's
and
pretty
then
cool. Nice.
Here we are today.
Nice.
So,
That's pretty neat. Did you have any siblings?
yeah, I have had 4 brothers,
Nice.
2 sisters, so big family, lots of nieces and nephews, and yeah, great family.
Did any of them enjoy wrestling as well?
No,
Okay.
not so much.
So you were the only one that kind of liked it.
I had brothers that would support it. I
Right.
had brothers that would call it something, but
yeah.
it was what it was. And after I graduated, my mom wanted to do whatever she could to facilitate what dreams I wanted to live.
Right.
And I got to live that dream for the last 17 years now. So
Very cool.
I'm very thankful for that.
What was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Hulk Hogan when I was little.
Hogan.
For
Nice.
sure.
Nice.
He was just the man on the playground. And then it's just exactly what they wanted, off to Bret Hart, because he was fantastic. I hated Shawn Michaels for a long time, even though he was so good. Then The Undertaker, and then guys like Razor, and that's kind of where it went. And then when Benoit was kind of a big deal in WF, loving him. And
Right, yeah.
Loving guys like William Regal, Kurt Angle, loving those kind of wrestlers. And then you got to throw in like a Tommy Dreamer and a Tracy Smothers. So a little bit of everybody.
A lot of greats.
Yeah.
A lot of greats. What was your first wrestling event?
That I went to as a fan or that I wrestled on?
Fan.
As a fan, it was ECCW in Campbell River at the local community hall. I don't even know how old it is, like maybe 12 years old. So it was a great time. I remember it. And they're still running today. I wrestled for them about 8 years ago, so that was pretty cool to get to wrestle for them. And I'm coming back again in April for them. So it's a small world with some really successful promotions still going since I was a kid. So
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool. What were some of your favorite matches that influenced you when you knew this was something that you loved?
There's so many. Benoit Regal was something I really got into. I liked watching all the cruiserweights. It wasn't my kind of wrestling. I couldn't do half that stuff.
Right, yeah.
My life depended on it. But I loved watching how smooth they were and just amazing. And then back as a kid, Hulk Hogan was the man because he was just so pumped up. He was fired up, hitting people with that big boot, dropping the leg. Yeah. It was just the excitement. I think back when wrestling was the Attitude Era, they always took shots to the fans, and everybody was having a good time.
Right.
So I want to be having a good time. I'm excited. I think that's what we try and do now with PWA. We try and have a little bit of everything, so we excite everybody. And the Alpine Club's really come a long way in that.
Right. Oh, yeah, totally.
And they're part of the show now. They're
absolutely.
So, but yeah, Malenko matches, Benoit matches, Regal matches, and then always a Cactus Jack here and there too, because I like a little bit of everything in wrestling.
Yeah. So, out of all those matches, out of all the things that growing up, when did you know that you wanted to be a professional wrestler? When did you know that I want to go to school for this?
I didn't know you could even become a professional wrestler.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know there was an indie, like a big indie type thing until the ECCW show.
Right.
But I just went as a fan, and then we were doing our backyard stuff, which don't do that at home. And
no.
Then when Elian left, I'm like, this could actually happen. I could do this.
Right. Yeah.
So I went into the next year of school, making sure I finished strong. I only had to get half a year done because I was just ahead. So I got that all done, and then it was time to get to that school.
So that...
I guess it'd be 18 years old.
Okay. Did you go to any other school than professional wrestling school? Did you go to college?
Nope. Once I graduated, it was spend 1 month with my family, all my friends, and then it was get on that plane and come to Ontario.
Right.
So
how is balancing, living, making money with going to school?
Well, we have temp agencies over here in KW region, right?
Right.
So it was really easy to get on somewhere, as opposed to like right now in Campbell River, there's not as much workforce, especially for someone who wants to focus 100% on wrestling.
Right.
So as a student, we couldn't wrestle before, I think it was 7 p.m. at the Hart Brothers School.
Right.
So doing a regular 6 to 3 or whatever job was easy is fine. And then it was get in there. I'd always fall asleep. And Juan Ortiz would come in there and wake up. And then he'd have me work out. And then we'd get in the ring and start wrestling.
While you were training at the Hart Brothers School, how was the training regimen for you?
It was fantastic. It was 5 nights a week. So from 8 to 10 was our regular class. I was lucky enough to be accepted really into the brotherhood real quick. So the older guys had me in at 7 so they could beat me up for an extra hour. And then on Saturdays we would have something going on because it was our day. We're all here for wrestling. Everyone moved there for wrestling, so we wanted to maximize our time in the ring. And then on Sunday we just make our own mock shows.
Nice.
So we're always in the ring.
That's pretty cool.
Who are some of the main trainers that trained you? Like
Sid Summers, Juan Ortiz. They were the main guys. And then, like I was saying, Carlo...
Sexy Sid.
Yeah, Sexy Sid. Then Carl Ledoux came in when they were... I think Sid was in Alabama, and Juan was maybe coaching freestyle wrestling. And so he had a break, and then Carl was in for a bit. And then Johnny K9 was there every Wednesday for a while, and that was just intense wrestling. And I think people need that. Wrestling's not just a dance. Right. You gotta have some grit to it. You gotta be able to take those shots and learn how to do it safely and properly. But if everyone's just two-stepping around, it doesn't look good. And that's why I appreciated the old school of really working hard to be able to get on a show.
When did your first match take place and where?
September 15th, 2011. So it was days after the World Trade went down. And I remember the promoter was really upset because he wanted to have Jerry the King Lawler on the show. Yeah. And he wasn't flying anywhere after that.
Wow.
So we did the show. I wrestled Elian Habanero. So what a dream come true for me. I meet this guy in the backyard. I phone him a year later, however many years later, and say, hey, should I come to the school? He says yes. I get to the school, do a little bit of training, and then I get to have my first match with a guy from the same town as me And it was pretty
And
amazing.
now you guys all work together in PWA. That's
And now,
pretty cool.
we're still doing it. So,
Walk us through the first match from when you woke up to when you went to bed.
man, I think the Highlanders were forced to take me out to find something to wear because I didn't have gear. It was only like 3 weeks into training. So I went and we found some elbow pads, and I think I wore shorts and like this. It was like a red top with a gray on top. It looked like Star Trek shirt to me, and cut off sleeves. And then,
Wow.
so we went and found gear, and then I actually walked down to the venue with Elian because it was only about maybe 6 blocks from the school. He was a mask guy at the time, so no one was going to see us together and I wouldn't get killed. But we went and we did our match, and we hit every damn move in the book.
Nice.
We got back there, and Mr. DeBoer and Sexy Sid and Juan gave me a look that I'd never seen before. It looked like I was going to get killed. And I was told, thank you for doing all the moves, so the rest of us don't have to do any tonight.
Right.
And then Sid quickly showed me where I could go sit for the rest of the evening and
Nice.
enjoy the show. So I learned less is sometimes more, and we're going from there now.
When did what was like the time between your first match and from when you started PWA? When did you know like you wanted to start your own promotion?
Well, my goals were always to run a school, run a promotion, and wrestle. I didn't think I was big enough, or maybe I wasn't dedicated enough to the weight room to get to the next level, to the WBE or to even an ROH at that time. But I'd always wanted to have something to fall back on. So if I did get injured in the ring, I'd still have a promotion, or I'd have a school going or something like that.
Right.
So those were always kind of goals really early on. And my first match was 2001, September. PWA started July 22nd, 2015.
Okay.
So it was about, I think I was 23 years old.
Okay.
22
Wow.
or 23.
Wow.
So, and that was just because we didn't have a lot of shows going on. At the time, the Ontario Athletic Commission was taking a lot of money if you wanted to run a show. It was $300 to run, and then you needed all your other stuff. So not a lot of people were running. And we had a whole bunch of guys who would just come through that school that were phenomenal wrestlers. So
Right.
I figured, well, this is the perfect time to do it because we got all these guys who are hungry to wrestle, and no one else is doing it in our area, so we should do great. So actually, Jeff Black, Hardcore Hick, himself, and Mr. Twisted, Joe Dog, they formed it with me, and they stayed on board till about 2008. And then we had to part ways for a little while, just differences.
Sure,
And
yeah.
and then 2010 or 11, I think Jeff came back, and he helps out tremendously. Now he's just wrestling for us, but he's a huge part. Him and Joe Dog. So.
When you started the PWA, were there any sort of roadblocks, triumphs, and tribulations that happened in the process?
Yeah, we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Right, yeah.
We didn't know, like, buy a sound system instead of rent one every other weekend. Just little things like that, and learning how to do the paperwork for the Ontario Athletic Commission and all that stuff.
Right.
So, and then like just the politics in the wrestling world. I wrestled everywhere before I had a promotion, and I was doing really good with that with Jesse Jones. Me and him he was my manager, but we were like a tag team. We were in a lot of places. And then when we had PWA, it's hard because you want to pay back everyone who's helped you out, and it becomes a little bit cliquey. But no, those just little things like that. Nothing too bad. As long as we wanted it, we got it, we did it. And there are some bad times, there's some lows,
Right.
but there's definitely so many highs. So.
From AM to PM, take us through an average day or not so average day as owner.
For me, like currently,
Sure.
okay, well, I am lucky enough to wake up and be with the kid in the morning, and then we get into school. The lady either goes to work or she's working on her computer. So then it's time just to basically just plug everything as much as possible on social media, and then try and make some calls to try and get some bot shows, send out some emails. And then I train still at night. So after lunch, do something with the lady and the kid when he gets home, spend some time with them. That's why I'm very lucky I get to spend a lot of time with my family.
Sure.
I'm not there all the time because come 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm down to that school till 10. On the weekends, I'm gone every weekend.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of plugging the events, postering, hitting up stores, talking to gentlemen like you to promote. And I love selling shows because then there's a lot less stress on my shoulders. I got a guaranteed figure. I can get my guys all booked in, and we get to work in front of different crowds that way. So we worked at like an Open Streets, or we worked at in Thetford, and just different places, the Vancouver Island exhibition. So that's what I'm trying to focus on more, is trying to get more bot shows, because I really like what we're doing in Kitchener. I want to get Campbell River up to that standard. A couple other towns would be great, but just want to keep building up. Sometimes I take on too much and I do too much, and I should be focusing on one thing instead of 10.
Sure.
So sometimes that's why house numbers can be affected, is because I'm not doing my job good enough. So it's something I know and I've been told, and I'm trying to get to one thing, but it's really hard for me. Like I said, I want to do Trinidad. I want to do Reggie wants to do Jamaica. So
oh wow, that'd be cool.
You never know. We're dreamers still.
Yeah.
That never left since day one we started wrestling. We had a dream, and we're still doing it and living it and being part of it.
What is your stance on CTE? I know that in professional sports, even if it's professional wrestling or an actual like a game, there's a lot of There's a lot of worry right now with concussions. How do you, as an owner, how do you stand on that?
Well, it's scary the more you learn about it, and when you think about back, oh my, like some of the stuff that's happened, and if you watch, like, say, all that unprotected chair shots, crazy stuff like that, but it's just something you got to keep learning about. It's just coming out now, we're just learning about it, so learning more about it, and then acting accordingly is kind of what's happening now. Concussions aren't something we can play around with. So we got a gentleman at the school, Zach Merrick, and he had a really bad one, and he's still suffering from that. So he came back, he tried to make it a run, and he's hurting again. So now he's back on the bench. So we don't know when he'll be back, if he'll be back from just one bump. So
wow. Good to know you guys take that seriously. CTE is something that we advocate on our show every week about. We tell people to make sure they take care of their domes. That's good to know. PWA is they're definitely good on that. Before we're done here, just want to know what keeps you going every day. I get that feeling when I walk into the studio doors here every week. Just that feeling of, this is my escape. This is where I get to be myself. What that keeps me going, those types of feelings when times are down in life. What's it like for you as an owner or as a wrestler? What keeps you going?
Wrestling's my life. It's my favorite thing to do other than see my family.
Right.
And sometimes people would say it's my favorite thing to do no matter what. So it's just, wrestling is something that's consumed me since I was young. And to be able to have the opportunity, because of so many other people really working hard, is something I'm going to always take advantage of. As long as I can keep doing it and making it something that people like to watch, and I'll keep doing that. So it's just the love for wrestling. That's all I can say. Wrestling's everywhere to me. I look at things, I watch movies, and I can relate to wrestling every single time. So
I guess we could say, what keeps us going. We love wrestling. We've been watching wrestling in our lives, and I understand that feeling. When times are low in life, there's always things that can keep you up, and wrestling definitely always there. That's pretty cool. Just real quick, tell us a favorite road story before we head out here.
There's so many. I always feel everyone who gets this question, they have like 7 they want to tell, but they're like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't tell those ones. And then they tell another one, and people are like, oh, that's not so good. Like that was funny, but it wasn't what it could have been. So I'm sorry I can't tell you the other 7. But my favorite one was probably just, I put it up on an account right now, an Ike Shaw parody account. It was my first day coming to the school. So it wasn't really a road story. It was my first ever time coming to the Hart Brothers School of Wrestling. And I get there, and the guy's late to pick me up. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? This is a little weird. So only about 15 minutes, not so bad. I get it in there, and great. I'm 18 years old at this point, so he asked me my age. I tell him there's a couple other guys in the vehicle, my buddy, and he's like, oh, I can get you guys into the casino. I'm like, I thought we were going to school. So whatever. He's driving crazily all the way to the casino, And he's like, I'll get you guys in, bro. And I'm like, what have I signed up for? But okay, I'm in. Maybe he's got some strings he can pull, but I don't think so. We get there, denied.
Wow.
Oh, okay, that's great. So I'm like, all right, so we're going to get to the school. I'm excited to get to the school. It's been my dream forever. And instead of that, he goes, well, you guys go wait in the car. I'm going to go in there for a little while. I'm like, what the hell is this? Just spent almost 7 G's to come to the school, and I got to sit in the car?
Yeah.
In the car, I learned a lot about who this man is, and I couldn't believe half the stories I heard. So I'm hearing all these crazy stories about how he eats 7 burgers with extra cheese and onions and pickles on every layer, and all these just outlandish stories. So I'm learning, and I'm wondering what's going on here. And then one of the guys comes running back, the only guy who could get in, my buddy, and he goes, he peed himself.
Oh.
I went, what? He's like, yeah, he did it. He peed all over himself, and he blamed it on the fountain. I'm like, oh no. So I just left my family, my friends, the closest people in my life, and I look out that window, and there's this very large man who took all my family's money, who's gonna show me how to wrestle in his light gray jogging pants with a big puddle in them. And for the next Hamilton to Cambridge is 40 minutes. For the next 40 minutes, I sat there and I pondered if I'd made a mistake.
That's a very good question.
So it was such a surreal moment. I couldn't believe what was happening. I'm like, this is wild. I'm 18. I'm halfway across the world in my views. And I get to the wrestling school though. I walk up there and there's I think it was Highlander Robbie in the ring with, can't remember who, and he's like, oh, you're the new guy. Yep. Get in here. Right away got to get into the wrestling ring, and
nice.
The past hour of what the hell is going on was eliminated. So that was one of that's one of my favorite stories ever, because I couldn't believe what was going to happen in the next 10 minutes, yet alone now I'm 17 years later.
That's pretty cool.
So,
nice. That's a funny entrance into the
world of
intro
wrestling.
into the world of wrestling.
Jeez.
But
Taking you through the ropes, really.
yeah, literally. But thank you again for coming by to the show here. In a few minutes, there's another show that's coming on, Street Hop. They're coming in, so we'll let them come in a few minutes. But thank you very much, Eddie Osbourne. Pure Wrestling champion, owner of the Pure Wrestling Association. We'll see him at Trinidad and Tobago March 31st. And then in May, we'll see May 13th, Alpine Club.
Definitely, I'll be there.
Is there any final words you want to say before we head out here?
Thank you for your support. Keep supporting PWA. We got all this good stuff happening right now, and we want as many people on board experiencing this journey we're going on.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's great to be able to thank you for giving us something to talk about every week here on the show and coming out to the events with my family. It's fantastic, and we do recommend, we'll see you down there, the TSP Through the Rope Squad. We'll see you down there in May. Real quick, just for the recording's sake, get you to say, hey, I'm Eddie Osbourne. You're listening to the Underground Sound Project, 102.7.
It's 102.7 now? I'm going to get it right?
Soon.
Do I have to say soon? All right. This is Eddie Osbourne. You're listening to the Underground Sound Project on 102.7. Woo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, folks. I would like to let everyone know you can check us out, TOSP on CKMS on Facebook and Twitter, PWA Canada, Facebook and Twitter, PWA Eddie O, Facebook and Twitter, as well as you can go to www.canadianprowrestling.com.
Can I put you on the spot for a minute? Are you playing that song before we go out?
Tupac, yeah.
This is for you, Noli.
We're gonna play that Tupac song going into Street Hop because they play hip hop. So that's perfect. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do not touch that dial. Street Hop's in. Spay near your pets, help control the pet population. Take care of yourselves and each other. That's the bottom line. We'll see you down the road, folks. Here's Tupac.